Deep within the untamed heart of the jungle, where sunlight struggles to pierce the dense canopy, flows a river unlike any other. They call it the Crimson River, a name whispered in fear and reverence. For generations, this winding waterway has been the undisputed kingdom of a living legend, the Crocodile King. He is a creature of immense size and ancient power, a relic from a time when giants walked the earth. His armored hide is a mosaic of scars, each one a testament to battles won, a story etched into his very being. His reign is one of quiet, absolute authority. The river's inhabitants know his presence not by a roar, but by the profound, respectful silence that falls when he glides through the murky depths. He is the silent sovereign, the guardian of the river's delicate balance. But something sinister has begun to poison this paradise. Far upstream, the careless hands of industry have bled their toxic waste into the pure waters. A sickly, chemical sheen now coats the surface, and a foul taint hangs in the air. This venomous tide has seeped into the very essence of the river, twisting and corrupting its lifeblood. And in the darkest pools, a once familiar creature has begun to change. The piranhas, always a threat, have mutated into something monstrous. Their scales have taken on a gruesome, blood-red hue, their eyes glowing with an unnatural, frenzied light. They are no longer just fish. They have become a single, ravenous entity, the Blood Piranhas. Their hunger is insatiable, a collective madness that drives them to consume everything in their path. A young jaguar venturing for a drink is stripped to bone in seconds. A family of capybaras seeking refuge in the water vanishes beneath a churning, crimson froth. The river, once a source of life, has become a liquid graveyard. The piranhas swarm in a horrifying, unified mass, a living plague that leaves nothing but eerie silence and stained water in its wake. The natural order has been shattered, replaced by a reign of chaotic, unending hunger. The river weeps, its life draining away with every victim. The Crocodile King, resting in his deep, ancestral lair, feels the disturbance. It's not a sound, but a vibration, a tremor of pure terror that echoes through the water. He tastes the chemical poison on his tongue and senses the unnatural fear that now chokes his domain. The screams of the dying, silenced before they can even reach the air, resonate in the water around him. This is not the familiar cycle of predator and prey. This is an abomination, a sickness that threatens to devour his kingdom from the inside out. For the first time in an age, a deep, guttural growl rumbles in the king's chest. This is an invasion, a declaration of war against the very soul of the river. The sovereign must rise slowly, majestically. He emerges from the depths. His colossal form displaces the water, sending powerful ripples across the surface. His eyes, ancient and golden, burn with a cold, calculated fury. He is the embodiment of the river's primal strength, and he will not allow his home to be consumed by this tide of madness. He swims not away from the chaos, but directly towards its epicenter, a silent, armored juggernaut on a collision course with the horde. The river falls deathly quiet, as if holding its breath in anticipation of the battle to come. The king is coming. He finds them in a wide basin where the river pools. It's a horrifying spectacle, a roiling vortex of red, a living meat grinder, thousands strong. The water is so thick with them it looks like a solid, moving mass of teeth and fins. They are in a feeding frenzy, tearing apart the last remnants of a large tapir. The Crocodile King doesn't hesitate. He doesn't circle or assess, he simply acts. With a surge of his immense tail, he launches himself into the heart of the swarm. The impact is like a depth charge. The water erupts. Piranhas are thrown into the air as the king's massive body crashes into their ranks. His jaws, wide enough to swallow a manhole, snapped shut with the force of a hydraulic press. Hundreds of the mutated fish are crushed in an instant. This is not a hunt, this is an extermination. The piranhas, momentarily stunned, turn their collective rage upon this new, colossal threat. They swarm him, a living blanket of razor-sharp teeth, tearing at his ancient hide. They bite and rip, their tiny teeth clattering uselessly against his armored scales hardened over centuries, tougher than stone. For them, it is like trying to chew through a mountain. The king unleashes his ultimate weapon, the death roll. He clamps his jaws on a dense mass of the swarm and begins to spin, transforming himself into a living tornado of destruction. The water turns into a violent, blood-red whirlpool. The force is immense, a maelstrom of claws, teeth, and raw power. Piranhas are torn apart by the sheer centrifugal force, their bodies flung against rocks and ripped to shreds. He is a force of nature, a storm of righteous fury unleashed. He tears through wave after wave of the frenzied attackers, his powerful legs and claws ripping through any that get too close. The river boils with the chaos of the battle. The fight rages for what feels like an eternity. The king is relentless, a tireless engine of destruction. He dives, he surfaces, he rolls, he thrashes. His every move is a devastating blow to the piranha horde. The swarm, driven by its mindless hunger, continues to attack, but their numbers begin to thin. The sheer, overwhelming power of the king is too much for them. Their coordinated assault crumbles into a desperate, chaotic struggle for survival. The water, once crimson with the blood of victims, is now stained with the bodies of the piranhas themselves. The king is covered in 1,000 minor cuts, but his spirit is unbroken, his fury unyielding. Slowly, the frenzy subsides. The king has broken the back of the horde. The remaining piranhas, their collective hive mind shattered, scatter in terror. They flee into the hidden crevices and dark corners of the river, their unnatural courage gone. The overwhelming onslaught has been met with an even more overwhelming response. The king, breathing heavily, floats in the center of the devastation. The water around him is a grisly soup of blood and mangled fish. The silence that returns is not the respectful hush of his reign, but the sullen quiet of a battlefield after the war is won. He has faced thousands, and he alone remains. As the first light of dawn filters through the canopy, it reveals a miraculous change. The current, now unimpeded by the swarming chaos, begins to flow freely again. It carries away the blood, the toxins, and the last traces of the corrupted horde. The river seems to be cleansing itself, washing away the nightmare of the past days. The water begins to clear, the sickly red fading back to the familiar, healthy brown of the jungle river. The king's rage has acted as a purified fire, burning away the sickness that had taken root in his home. The Crocodile King glides slowly through his reclaimed kingdom. The smaller fish, the turtles, and the river otters cautiously emerge from their hiding places. They look upon him not with fear, but with something akin to reverence. He is their savior, the protector who faced down the apocalypse and won. He finds his ancestral lair and sinks into the cool, clean depths, his body aching but his purpose fulfilled. The scars from this battle will join the others, another chapter in the epic tale of his life. The Crimson River is at peace once more, purified by the rage of its guardian. The silence returns, the deep, peaceful, respectful silence of a kingdom ruled by a true and worthy king. Thank you so much for watching this epic tale from the wild. If you enjoyed the story of the Crocodile King, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories from the heart of nature. We'll see you in the next adventure.